If you like your lie in April, you will love this. A pianist is waiting in a hallway connected to the stage. He isn't sitting in a chair or pacing like most people would before a performance. Instead, he's crouched down on the floor, his head buried into his knees, as if he's trying to hide inside himself. His fingers twitch restlessly, running through invisible keys on his thighs. He replays little fragments of his piece again and again. The piece is Love's Sorrow by Fritz Kreisler, arranged by Rachmaninoff. It's not just a piece for him. It's his mother's favorite, the one she used to play for him. But right now, his hands won't stop shaking. His breath keeps catching in his throat. He looks like he's trying to cling onto the music before it slips away. A helper's voice cuts through the fog of his mind. "Ruba, contestant number 35, you're up next. Please come to the entrance of the stage." The sound of his name makes him jolt. He slowly unravels from his ball and pushes himself up from the cold floor, dragging his body forward like each step weighs a ton. At the entrance, he waits. He listens. The person on stage is Adrian, an expressive pianist who has this magical way of making every note burst with color and life. The piece Adrian is playing is Love's Joy, the partner piece to Ruba's Love's Sorrow. It's ironic, isn't it? Joy and sorrow, back to back, a kind of cruel fate. The audience is completely wrapped in Adrian's performance. You can almost feel their breaths sinking with the music. Every rise and fall, every playful little trill, it's like the air itself is glowing. And yet, Ruba doesn't feel it. Not a single ounce of that joy reaches him. He can't experience Love's Joy. The audience explodes into applause. Adrian walks off stage, still glowing with energy, and his eyes meet Ruba's. It's a quick glance, but it's sharp, almost like a warning. Don't you dare disappoint me. Ruba swallows hard and takes his first steps toward the stage. His eyes drift across the audience, scanning rows of faces until they land on one spot, an empty handicapped VIP seat. He stares at it, his chest tightening. Will it reach her? Ruba is only 13 years old, just a kid. And yet, in Japan, they already call him the greatest prodigy of his generation. Some whisper that he's destined to be a world-class pianist. His talent doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from his mother. She was famous, not just locally, but world famous. Critics used to say her phrasing was untouchable. But fame wasn't the whole story. His mother carried something else, something cruel. A rare degenerative illness slowly devoured her nervous system. First, it weakened her body, then paralyzed her, and finally, it promised to take her life. She knew her time was short, and so she poured everything she had left into her son. The only thing she could give him was piano. At first, it was beautiful. She taught him with patience, with warmth. But as her illness worsened, her lessons grew harsher. The urgency inside her boiled over into anger, then strictness, then violence. The piano, which once glowed with love, started to turn cold, hard, unyielding. One memory cuts deep. Ruba is at the piano, his small hands struggling across a passage. His mother, now in a wheelchair, sits beside him. Her voice cracks like a whip. "Ruba, you've made the same mistake twice. Is this trivial passage giving you that hard of a time?" Tears stream down his cheeks as he stammers. "I'm sorry, Mother. I'm trying my best. We've been practicing for hours, and my fingers are giving out. Can we please take a small break?" He holds out his hands. They're bruised, red, calloused beyond a child's should ever be. But his mother's face hardens. Her voice is sharp, merciless. "You think taking a break will lead you to be the best? If you can't handle this, no wonder you're still at this pitiful level." And then, the cane in her hand, meant to help her walk, strikes his arm. The sting lingers long after the sound fades. She doesn't realize it, but she is breaking him. She is pouring her fear and desperation into him like poison. She thinks she's giving him a gift, but she is giving him trauma. Still, Ruba tried. He tried so hard. He won competition after competition, hoping maybe, just maybe, his success would bring her joy. Maybe it would cure her, or at least make her smile. But every win, every trophy, every ovation fell into the void. Her face never lit up. So he pushed harder, practicing day and night, sacrificing everything, friends, childhood, freedom, all for the piano, all for her. But it was never enough. Unless he left Japan, unless he built an international career, she would never be satisfied. Inside her own head, doubts ate at her. Is it the illness making me this way? Or am I simply a terrible mother? When did I lose my way? And inside Ruba's heart, something snapped. He couldn't take the abuse anymore. He stopped visiting her in the hospital. He He stopped practicing. He froze, trapped inside the cage she had built. He was just a child, suffocating under expectations that weren't his own. She realized too late. Her treasure, the one she loved more than anything, was suffering because of her. So she stepped back. She left him alone. No visits, no calls, just silence. And then, one final message. A letter. "How are you, my treasure? I'm sorry that I ruined your childhood. I'm sorry that I ruined the piano for you. I didn't have long to live, and I didn't know what to leave behind for you. The piano was all I had. I worried. Would you eat properly? Would you take care of yourself? There were so many unknowns. But at least I could give you a foundation. I hope someday you can forgive this foolish mother of yours. Remember, Mother will always love you." Now, years later, Ruba stands on stage, his mother's shadow looming over him like a storm. The piano is no longer just an instrument. It's her face, her voice, her judgment. He sits down at the bench. His hands tremble as he adjusts the height, trying to feel just right. He stares at the 88 keys. They stare back at him, cold and unblinking. The silence swallows him whole. Minutes pass. Still, he hasn't played a note. The audience shifts uneasily. Then, thump. A child in the front row falls off his seat. The thud snaps Ruba out of his trance. He watches as the boy's mother scoops him up, holding him close, comforting him as he cries. And suddenly, Ruba remembers. He isn't here for trophies. He isn't here to beat Adrian. He isn't even here to win. He is here to repent, to play for her. He sets his fingers on the keys. His right foot rests on the sustain pedal. He breathes in, breathes out, closes his eyes, and then he begins. The opening notes bloom with clarity. Each phrase is delicate, each melody shimmering like crystal. The audience is spellbound, watching colors flow into the air, deep blue, glowing purple, the shades of sorrow itself. But then, the weight of memory crashes in. The guilt of not being there for her, the shame of abandoning the piano, the crushing thought, "Is this a curse from you, my dear mother?" The keys no longer answer him. He pounds them harder, desperate, but the sound feels empty, hollow. He can't hear, he can't feel. His hands fall still. He collapses into himself, clutching his ears, tears spilling onto the keys. The flawless performance has shattered. Silence. "Is this the piano my mother taught me?" he whispers inside. But then he remembers the letter, the memories. A little boy again, sitting on his mother's lap as she plays. Her hands gentle, her music soft as a lullaby. He remembers asking her, "Why do you always play love's sorrow when there's love's joy?" Her answer, whispered like a secret. "To enjoy love's joy, you must first know love's sorrow." The realization strikes him like lightning. This isn't the same love's sorrow his mother played for him. What he's been doing isn't hers. It's just echoes of trauma. He straightens. He knows the competition is already over. He's disqualified. But he doesn't care. He puts his hands on the keys once more, breathes in, breathes out. And this time, he doesn't try to hear the notes. He lets himself feel them. What emerges is not sorrow, but light, playfulness, warmth. Colors burst into the hall, yellow, orange, pink, red. These aren't his colors, they're hers, the things she left behind for him. The audience is stunned. Some see joy, some see love, some see redemption, but all of them feel something. Ruba finishes with tears glistening in his eyes. He looks up at the stage lights, and in that silence he remembers her words. The silence on stage belongs to us performers, and every single person out there is waiting for us to fill it with something. Music speaks louder than words, so go on. Find the piano you want to convey. And with his voice cracking, he asks the lights, the empty chair, the memory of her, "Did it reach you,